Hi, everyone. Hello. My name is Christina, and I'm the Family Engagement Coordinator at San Francisco Public Library. I am really glad that you're here with us today. Wow, I love my job because I get to connect with amazing artists and creators and bring them to you, like in this program today. Guess what? We're here with Wendy Mac. She's really here, I promise.
I'm really here. I am. Hello, and I can't wait to see you till afterwards. Okay, bye.
We've been bringing you all kinds of free public programs throughout the whole summer during this whole time that we've had to stay at home. So be sure to check out our other programs on our SFPL YouTube page. This one will be available there as well for you to rewatch and share as much as you want. I am so thrilled that leading up to one of the most important elections we have had as a country, that I get to welcome Wendy Mac to share her voting special episode of her wildly popular live drawing class, Draw Together. She's going to be here to share a whole bunch of information with you all, voters in training, as well as answering your questions at the end of the program. So, because she's here to answer your questions, make sure that you add them in the chat. Parents and caregivers, it really helps if you can share the name of your child and their age if you'd like. We definitely want to make sure that we prioritize kids' questions first. So if you haven't already met Wendy through Instagram or YouTube, I'm here to tell you that she is a New York Times bestselling illustrator and graphic journalist, based right here in my hometown of San Francisco. Her books include Meanwhile in San Francisco, which features the San Francisco Public Library. And also, she did the art for this amazing book. Oh, you can't see it with my virtual background, but that is Salt, Fat, Acid, and Heat. Amazing art in there by Samin Nosrat, art by Wendy, of course, and many other books that you can borrow from the San Francisco Public Library. I know that our chat monitor is adding those titles right there for you, so you know where you can borrow them. She studied art and social work and has been involved in, oh my goodness, an awe-inspiring amount of very awesome projects, including co-founding Women Who Draw, and did you know this? Creating the national campaign for the first democratic elections in Rwanda. What? She lives right here in San Francisco in Potrero Hill with her partner and frequent collaborator, the writer Caroline Paul. Shout out to Gutsy Girl. 2 cats, and a dog, Suso, who you're going to see in the video. So before we see this awesome episode of Draw Together, the voting special, I would be remiss not to thank our amazing friends of the San Francisco Public Library. They have ongoing support for us in youth and family programming. We really just can't do this without them. So I just want to give them a huge thanks. And if you would like to support the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library, check out their website. So without further ado, let's check out Draw Together, the voting special. Take it away.
System's looking good today. It's a special day. It's Draw Together. It's Friday. Woo! Oh yeah. You know what? It's Draw Together. It's Friday. You know what we need to start with? It's a little Draw Together dance. Stand up. Let's do a little dance. Stand up. We can be a line. We can be a loopy line. We can be a swirly line. We can be a seesaw line. Let's shake it out. It's the Draw Together voting special. Woo! It's exciting. Let's do a little dance. It's Friday. It's Friday. It's Friday. We draw together. And what do we say together? Everything is better when we draw together. Yes. Stick the landing. Good job, friends. Hello, and welcome to Draw Together Voting Special. I am so happy to see you. I'm Wendy Mac. What's your name? I'm so happy you're here. And let's see, who else is here? Oh, we got Suso. Suso wore her special outfit today. She's looking pretty good. And we have Art Assistant Caroline behind. Say hi, Art Assistant Caroline. She's back there. Hi. She's shy. I'm so happy to see you. All right, we have a very special draw together. So let's start, shall we? I'm going to put on my drawing apron. If you have something special that you like to wear when you draw, you might want to put that on. Maybe it's an apron, maybe it's a hat, maybe it's some cool sneakers, whatever you want. It's your thing. I'll put this on. We are all here together to draw and talk about voting and election and democracy. And we are all in our home studios. I'm here in my home studio. I'm an illustrator. I draw. It's what I do. It's my job. It's pretty cool. You can be one too. And you are in your home studio. So what do we need for Draw Together Voting Special Day? Some supplies. So look around. Let's just make sure that we got what we need. Pencil, or maybe a pen. Paper. This big sketchbook. You can just have any paper. It doesn't have to be fancy. And maybe, if you want, some color, because that's fun. You can use paints, markers, crayons, whatever you got. All of this stuff. It's all good. All right. Are we ready? Because it's Draw Together. And it is the voting special. Perhaps you noticed that Suso was wearing a special outfit. Yeah. Does anybody know why? Because it's the voting special. And there's an election coming up in the United States. It's a pretty big deal. In about 2 weeks, we're going to have an election to elect the leaders of the country. And so there's like a lot of thoughts and feelings and questions about that. So we thought it would be cool to get together and do some drawing and ask some questions and talk about all that stuff. So let's begin. What is voting? Well, voting, I think a lot of you know, but a few of you might not. Voting is a way that we work together as a group to make a decision that affects everybody. And a vote is the way that you participate. It's your voice. And your voice matters. An election that's coming up is when everybody around the country in a democracy comes together and uses their vote to speak up and say who they would like the leaders to be and what the things they care about are. So even if you are not old enough to vote, you have thoughts, you have feelings, yeah? You probably have some opinions, and they're all really important. Your voice is important. Yeah, and you also can participate in this election. Even if you can't vote, your voice matters, and your art is a way that you can speak out about things you care about, because you, my friend, are a VIT, voter in training. Oh yeah. All right, enough of this chat. Let's get to drawing. Let's do a little warm up, okay? You ready? Come on over here. All right, so let's open up. I'm going to use this page. I'm going to turn my page this way. So the long way, vertical, we call this portrait. And I'm going to use a pen. You can use whatever you want. You can use a pencil, or you can use a crayon. You can use anything you want. This is your drawing, your art, your business. Come on, let's start. All right. So I'm going to take my pen. We're going to do something that we do at the beginning of a lot of draw togethers that help us center and help us start to draw. let's put our pen down in the middle right here. I bet some of you who've been to Draw Together before know this one. I'm going to make a little heart. But we're not going to close the heart. Nope, don't close it. Don't close it. Almost right there. And then we're going to go around the outside. And we're going to keep going around the outside. Who's done this before? I see a lot of you Draw Together kids out there who've done this before. Who knows what this is? It's our heart spiral. Let's take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Well, as we make our spiral, we just keep going around the outside, and we get the line as close to the line inside as we can. Just keep moving. The heart spiral is a great thing to do when we have a lot of feelings going on inside. Like, let's say you have some opinions or thoughts, like we were just saying before, about stuff around, the election or about anything. Sometimes we can feel a little bit fluttery, or we can feel a little bit angry. We feel like maybe people don't listen to us sometimes if we have an opinion we want to share. And if we have feelings like that, we can always sit down, stop, take a deep breath, and draw a heart spiral. Deep breath out. Keep those pens moving. And by the time we finish drawing our heart spiral, it's pretty neat how our feelings change. Maybe we just don't feel the same fluttery in our tummies and our bellies and our chests. Maybe we feel a little bit quieter, a little bit more grounded, so that we can come back. One more deep breath in, deep breath out. Whoop. And let's make a heart at the end. Whoop. Like that. Little heart. And say, hey, now I feel a little bit more grounded. And I'm going to speak up my opinion a little bit more here in a quiet way. And then we're also going to turn this heart into a dancing heart. Oh, dancing heart. Dancing heart. Oh, yeah. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. How'd that feel? Did you feel different when you started and when you ended? Yeah. Drawing does that. We can always do a little heart spiral, or we can just draw some shapes, different shapes. Always take a deep breath, and after we draw, we feel a little more grounded. Take some deep breaths. Yeah. All right. So that was pretty cool. I'm going to take this page. I'm going to tear it. We can always use the back side. I'm going to flip it over. You can do the same. We're going to save that. All right, check it out. So we're talking about voting, right? I know kids have a lot of questions about voting. But you know what? I teach art. That's very different. If we're going to ask somebody to answer questions about democracy, elections, and voting, perhaps we should ask somebody who's an actual elected official. What do you think of that? So a bunch of kids sent in questions that they had, and we sent them to Mayor London Breed, the San Francisco mayor, and she has answered your questions. So let's go on the yellow school bus and visit Mayor Breed's office and get some kid questions answered.
My name is Marlo Amar. I am almost 7. Why do people always vote in secret?
I think voting in secret is really up to you. Some people don't want to share who they voted for with other people, and others don't mind. So I think it's an individual choice. You can choose to vote in secret or not.
Hi, I'm Kiara. I'm 8.5. My question about voting is, how do they count all those votes?
The way that they count votes now is a lot different than how they used to count votes. Now with technology, it is so much easier. So for example, when I turn in my ballot and my ballot is accepted, I can look online to make sure that it is not only accepted, but my vote was counted, which is absolutely amazing.
Hello, my name is Blake. I live in Los Angeles, California. I'm 5 years old. Can I vote?
You won't be able to vote until you're at least 18. However, currently in San Francisco, there's an initiative on the ballot that will allow 16-year-olds to vote, but you still have some time. So get excited about the future and what that would mean once you have an opportunity to vote.
My name is Liz. I'm 7 years old, and I was wondering, if you are president, do you have to live in the White House, or can you live in an ordinary house?
Well, when you're the president of the United States of America, oftentimes you need to be protected, and the White House offers that protection. So in most cases, if you're president, you do need to live in the White House.
Hello, my name's Geetha. Is being a president hard?
I would imagine it's hard. You have millions of Americans depending on you. I can tell you that being mayor is hard. We have hundreds of thousands of people who depend on the decisions that we make every single day, including all of you. So it's a tough job, but it's very rewarding because you get to do so many great things for people.
Thank you, Mayor London Breed. That was so cool. Can you believe that the mayor came to answer all of those questions? It's pretty neat. Well, maybe someday you'll be mayor. And definitely someday you're going to be a voter. It's pretty fun. You are a, take a deep breath, voter. V. Deep breath. I. In. Deep breath. Out. Training. Yes. Now, as a voter in training, while you might not be able to vote technically in the election yet, that doesn't mean that you don't wield incredible influence over the grown-ups in your lives. Isn't that right? Perhaps you've seen one of these. Who's seen one of these? Have you seen one? I mean, there are stickers. They're cool, right? Election's one of the times when adults get really excited about stickers and badges and stuff. I know, they should be excited all the time, right? So, I'm gonna do some drawing. And we thought what would be really fun to do would be to wield your influence as a VIT, voter in training, and create badges for the grown-ups in your life that they only receive after they voted. Am I right? Am I right? Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you get it. You get it. Like, they're always giving kids gold stars. How about it's time that you give the grown-up the gold stars for voting? Like a certificate? That, yes. Let's make some badges for some grown-ups who have voted. All right, VITs. Let's draw. Come on over here. All right. Whew. Let's do a little shake, shake, shake before we start to draw. I like to do this. Helps me warm up. Do the fingers, do the wrists, do the elbows, do the shoulders, do the eyes. Okay, are we ready? Let's draw. Let's grab a pen or a pencil, whatever you want. And I'm going to start my badge by making a big circle. By the way, if you make a sound effect while you draw, it's just a little trick of the trade there. It's really important to make sound effects. Let's do another circle on the outside. If you don't want to make a circle, if you want to make like a triangle or a square, this is your badge, your shape, your drawing. You are great and your drawing is great just the way it is, whatever you want to do. There's no wrong way to make a badge. All right, so we got a badge here. Let's see, what if we draw this way, this thing, a pen? Because we draw sometimes with pens or markers. What else do we do with pens or markers? What do grown-ups do with pens or markers? I just made a little triangle right there. Grown-ups use pens and markers to vote. So it's incredible how powerful a pen is. It's how we use our voice. I'm making a big, long rectangle, 2 lines like that. You can draw a pen any way you want. There's so many different pens and so many ways to draw them. You draw your pen or pencil. I'm going to do this little clip here. Whoop, boop. This is one of the most powerful things. We can draw and express ourselves, use our voice. We can vote with it. We can write stories with it. I'm going to draw another one right across here. See how I kind of skip past this part? It means it's behind there. I'm going to draw another long rectangle. If something is behind something else, kind of disappears right there. This is in front, and that one's behind. This I'm going to turn into a pencil. I'm going to make a triangle at the top. Pretty neat how shapes, pretty much everything is just made up of shapes. I turn that triangle into 2 triangles. This one's a pencil. You draw your pencil. You can draw it however you want. Make that eraser. All shapes. We got our pencil. We got our pen. All right. So now we have these 4 different areas. So this is a badge that we are going to give to grown-ups after they voted. Okay? This is also your badge. You're drawing this badge. So who should we put at the top here? Yes, that's right, friends. Let's put you. So remember, everything is made up of shapes when we're drawing. So the shape I'm going to draw is an oval. And we're all going to do our own self-portrait here. Just a little self-portrait, nothing fancy. So everybody's got a different shaped head, but pretty much they're kind of shaped oval, like that. So you can do yours a little wider, a little smaller, a little taller, however you want. Then I'm going to put 2 ears here. Maybe you have 2 ears. Maybe you have 1 ear. You draw your ears. Maybe you have earmuffs on. If you're wearing earmuffs, you could put fuzzy earmuffs on. All right. And then I'm going to draw 2 eyes. 2 lines like that. You can draw eyes like little dots. You can draw 2. Some people have 1 eye. You can draw it however you want. I'm going to do that. And how about a nose? Just a simple nose. You draw your nose. Everybody's got a different shaped nose too. Some people's are smaller. Some people's are wider. Some people's are kind of like a little more turned up. All noses are awesome. So much personality and a mouth. I'm going to make mine smiling. Big smile. Big smile. Yeah. And eyebrows. Let's see. Do you have any freckles maybe? If you want to put freckles on there. Maybe you have glasses. Oh, I know. I'm wearing glasses, so I'm going to put glasses on mine. You make this you. I'm going to put my hat on. A little silly hat. You put your hair on. Hair is so fun to draw. I'm going to do mine here. Does your hair go up? Is your hair a little curly? Is your hair long or short? Draw yours there. The most important part of this really is you. You matter. Your voice, your feelings are important. You are a voter in training. Okay. So you can color this in. We can come back and color that in a little bit. I'll put a couple little freckles if you got freckles. Okay. Now, you are part of a group. A lot of groups. What's the first kind of group that you're a part of? Your family. Yeah. So for family, I'm going to make a big heart. You can make a big heart. You can make any drawing that you want to go here that represents your family and your feelings about being part of your family. Everybody's family looks different. What family means is that they're people who love each other and who take care of each other. And that could be parents, it could be maybe grandparents, it could be a teacher you could think about as being your family, but it's, a group that really works together. I'm actually going to color in this heart a little bit right now. I'm going to use paint. If you have crayons, you can do that too. So let's see. I think I'm going to do it a nice pink color. You can do it in anything you want. Color that in. You can also color in your pencils and stuff. If also, just for littler kids, if you want to just color, that is great too. You don't have to do all the detail stuff. You can do anything you want. You can just make some scribbles and some designs. So you are part of the family here. And your family works together to make decisions. Like, let's say you are having like some dinner. I'm going to put some orange in here around the outside. And some people in the family want pizza. And some people want spaghetti. And people have different feelings. And you got to decide how you're going to figure out what to have. How would you do that? Maybe arm wrestle? No. You'd take a vote. Yeah. And you'd figure it out together. And if more people want spaghetti than pizza, well, you're probably going to have spaghetti that night. Lucky you. Either way, it's a pretty good thing. But if you wanted the other thing, you might feel a little sad and disappointed. And that's normal. Maybe even angry. Yeah, that's normal too. Where we can always make a heart spiral when we're having those feelings. And then there'll be a time to vote again. And then hopefully next time, pizza. Sorry, I'm thinking too much about pizza. I'm just going to keep doing this. It's kind of like a little heart spiral. You can do whatever you want around here. All right. So here we go. We got you. Make little rosy cheeks there. We got you. You are part of the family. And your family is part of, I'm going to switch to my pen, your neighborhood. So let's draw your neighborhood. So this is your neighborhood here. So I'm drawing a line across. We can all do that. This is called a horizon line. When we're drawing a place, like a house or something like that, this is the ground. This is the sky. And that is the ground. So let's put our house on there. Maybe you live in a house. Maybe you live in an apartment. Maybe you share a place with a bunch of different people. You can draw your place right there. Maybe you have a door. So you draw, does your place have windows? Does your place have a tree outside? Mine does. And we have our neighbors. So I'm going to draw other buildings here too, other homes, and put windows in them. Behind each one of these windows, there is a person or a family. And those families, they have opinions and they have thoughts just like you do, just like your family does. And this neighborhood, this community, all watches out for each other. And they make decisions together, kind of like your family makes decisions together, this community makes decisions together, and they decide what's important. Okay, well, let's see. Maybe the community might decide, we want more trees. Okay, well, then they'll take a vote. And they'll say, we want more trees. And then they'll plant some more trees in the community. Or maybe they'll say, hey, we want a new school building with art supplies in it. Ow! Yeah, there's a little bell. So maybe then they'll take a vote. And they'll put some more money into supporting schools to support more kids and have art supplies. Yeah. So how about you? What's important to you in your community? What do you want to see more of? You can draw that in here. Let's see, let's all think of one thing. Draw that in there. Okay. I'm going to put a sun up here. That'll be fun to color. Okay. Art assistant Caroline is behind the camera whispering, candy, candy. She actually wants me to draw a candy factory in the background that gives candy out, especially maybe because Halloween is coming up. So this is the candy delivery system that comes to your house. That could be fun too. Okay. All right. So draw that, color that in. Maybe we can just take a little bit. Just a little bit for the sun. All right. And house. Things we're drawing now, you can kind of be coloring in as you want, or you can come back at the end and color more. Just going to quickly color these guys in here. You take your time. There's no rush. There's no rushing in art. There's never an art rush. All right, last thing. So, voter in training, you are part of your family. Your family is part of your community, and your neighborhood is part of. What do you think I'm going to draw here? What are we going to draw together here? I'm part of our country. Let's draw a flag. Yeah? We saw flags at the beginning. We'll see some flags again. So, since there's an election coming up in the United States, I'm going to draw the United States of America flag right here. So there's a rectangle and a square inside. Everything's made up of shapes everywhere we look. Everything is shapes. And then I'm going to go straight into making some red stripes because that's like the most fun thing to do. Red stripes. Red stripes. Yep. Oops, see how that smudged a little bit right there? The pen was still wet. It's not what I wanted. That was kind of a mistake. Again, it's happening again. I don't love it. But you know what? There's no mistakes, a wise person once said. There's no such thing as a mistake. There's just happy accidents. I think we've heard that from somebody named Bob Ross. And maybe we'll just turn that into something in a little bit later. Actually, it looks kind of cool, like shading. So when things happen when we're drawing, it happens not as we really intended. That's okay. We can always turn it into something else. And then this is blue here. And remember, if you are from a different country, if you're in a different country, you can draw your flag. Or maybe you are from a country in the United States, you have dual citizenship. If you have two places that are important to you, you can draw both of those flags. This is all about you and your community. All right. So everybody in the United States, you can draw stars here, and you can also decorate the background. Everybody in the United States gets a vote. Well, if you're over 18, well, pretty much everybody. There's some details there. But you know, that's not always the way it's been. When the United States started a long time ago, only white men could vote. What? That's true. Yeah, and it was that way for a while. And then after a little while, black men were able to vote. So that was something. And then it was only white and black men who could vote. Who couldn't vote? Women couldn't vote. So about 100 years ago, women got together. Check this out. And they wore these cool hats. And they had signs. They drew signs, art, amazing. And they said, hey, we want to be able to vote too. And they struggled pretty hard for that. And then they got the vote. So it seemed like everything was, like everybody had the vote. But in fact, that wasn't really the case. Up until not too long ago, there was still a lot of unfairness for Black people in the United States for voting. Like, they had to do a lot of things that white people didn't have to do in order to vote. And they had to do things like recite the Constitution and all of these things that just made it really, really hard to vote because the folks who were in charge didn't want them to vote. So, check this out. More times that people have used signs and art. So people came out and said, hey, no, we demand voting rights now. Yeah. And then those restrictions were lifted. So it became better. I think it's all good, but you know what? It's not all in the past. Even now, we can just still keep making these little lines. Even now, if we go out, this is a picture from just like, I don't know, a week ago. Look at these people waiting in line for so long. Still, a lot of people who are in power don't want other people to vote. They don't want Black people. They don't want people of color and poor people to vote. So they make it really hard. They make people wait in a long line. Have you ever waited in a line this long? It's really hard to do. Whereas in a lot of white communities, you have to wait for like 5 minutes. So that's something we call voter suppression. Well, hopefully that is changing. And a big part of that changing is you. You, voter in training. Because you are the future. And you, by listening, by thinking and feeling about the things that you hear, by connecting those things with all the things you see around you, and then speaking up, you make a difference. And your art can make a difference. When you take this badge, and we're going to cut it out, and you're going to give this to a grown-up, and you're going to say, hey, I can't vote yet, but you can, and you must. You can make sure that they're voting about things that you care about the issues in your community that are important. So if you have scissors, you can grab your scissors. If not, you can do this afterwards, or if you need a grown-up to help you, that's great too. But make sure you're using some good scissors. Cut out the badge. All right. Here's our badge. There's cool more coloring we can do here. I think it'll be fun to color the outside, color in you a little bit more in your community. You can decorate this badge and make it extra bright and colorful and exciting. And then this badge is an award that you, voter in training, VIT, you, are going to give to your grown-up as a gold star for voting, but only after they've voted. You know what would be cool? To see a whole giant draw together community rise up and head out with their grown-up to the polls while wearing a mask and distribute these at a safe social distance to grown-ups who have voted. So this might be for your grown-up, for your caregiver. Maybe you want to put tape on it and badge it to them like that. Or I'm just going to do this little thing here. You can put a little hole in it, put a little string through it. Turn into a badge for your grown-up. Yeah. Award it to all of them because you have a voice. So we listen, we think, and we feel and make connections with that. And then we speak up. We speak out. Let's review. Ready? All right. All right. Suso. Voter in training. You are a future voter. You are a future leader. And who knows? You could be a future president. So we use our voice to speak up. We listen, we connect, and we speak out. We can also use drawing as a way to tell people how we feel and also to take care of our own feelings. To take a deep breath. All right. So you can always draw a heart spiral. So let's rise up. Let's do a show on the count of 3. Whether you've cut it out or you're still drawing, let's do a quick show. We see on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Yes. Look at those badges. Look at all those colors. Oh, look at the feeling you put into your family and all the issues you care about in your community. Wow. And your whole country that you're a part of. The country that's made up of you. Yeah, that's a great badge. It's very strong and loving. I'm so proud of you. Remember to cut this out, give it to a grown-up only after they've voted, and you can take a picture of it and you can post it on Instagram with the hashtag #drawtogether. You can tag me if you want, and we can share it for the whole community, and I'm talking international world community, to see and inspire so many other voters in training and grown-ups to get involved and use their voice, right? Okay. I think that we have one thing left to do here. We do this at the end of every class. On the count of 3. For those of you who are new, we're going to raise our pencils and we're going to say everything is better when we draw together. Okay, ready? Pencils up on the count of 3. Suso, are you ready? Everything is better when we draw together. See you soon.
Woohoo! Oh my goodness. I wish that I could hear and see you all, but go ahead and put some love in the chat. Let's give it up for Wendy Mac. I'd like to welcome her here on screen with me so we can answer some of your questions. That was just fantastic. Woohoo!
Yay! Good job, class. Good job, class. That was so fun.
So great. We got definitely some appreciations in the chat of just, I think there's a mother out there who said, great explanation on why we should all vote. Really appreciate that. And I love how much you emphasize that kids' voices matter and how they can make their voices matter through art. So I'm curious, what are some of the favorite ways that you've been able to hear youth voices through your experience with Draw Together?
Wow. Art is such a great way for all of us, including maybe especially young people, to process some feelings, draw what's going on inside their hearts, inside the heads, and get that out on paper. And so it has been such a wonderful experience drawing with kids from all over the world. We started during the very first day of school closures here in San Francisco. So everybody had a lot on their minds and a lot on their hearts. And we used drawing to get through, kind of get all that out. And now it's been wonderful to use it in ways where we can learn about voting. And then one of the most fun parts for me is seeing when kids do their drawing and they're proud and they feel comfortable sharing it with other kids around the world, to see them post those pictures, and then a big community is formed of people who get to see each other's drawings, and that's really special.
Awesome. I can imagine that some kids out there on their voting badges, maybe part of the community that they were drawing was their Draw Together community.
That's so nice. Yeah.
Well, we're definitely getting lots of appreciation in the chat. Specifically, Wendy Mac is the best. And Mark Daniels says, wonderful program. I loved it. Earlier comments, so nice. Someone wanted Suso to be president.
Oh, Suso for president. I know. She was considering running, but we realized that, there's probably maybe some better folks suited. But, we never know 4 years from now.
First pet president.
Well, Suso is a very talented dog, but as she just says, like, I don't know, how does it, like, I think the laws she'd pass would be mostly around treats, and maybe that wouldn't really make it on the ballot. So, but we'll see.
We'll see. Anything's possible. Well, folks, if you have questions, please put them in the chat. We would love to answer them and really appreciate your appreciation. So keep sending those in. But I've got a couple questions up my sleeve. While folks, maybe you need a little bit of time to kind of get those juices flowing. The heart spiral. Wow. I mean, just such a great tool. And I'm just curious if you have other tools or other practices that you could offer to kids and their grownups for kind of using art as a way to move through the emotions. We all know this is a very emotional time.
Yeah. The heart spiral, I just want to give credit where that is due there to the amazing Linda Berry, who's an incredible artist, comics artist, and educator, teaches at the University of Wisconsin. And she does workshops, and she uses a spiral to kind of set up her drawing as language workshops. So we kind of riffed off of that and made ours into a little heart and use it to ground ourselves at the beginning of about half of the classes or so. It's just a great way to kind of, one of the great things about drawing is that when we keep our hand moving and when we kind of slow down, our breath slows down and starts moving with our hands, we really become absorbed into it, and we can kind of let go of all that noise in our head and start to really settle into how we're feeling. So anytime I recommend that anybody wants to draw a little bit, or if you're just feeling like a little overwhelmed and you want to chill out, a heart spiral or a Linda Berry spiral will always be great. And another thing I love to do is something called a blind contour drawing. If anybody has done classes, you've done this with me often when we draw each other, but you don't have to draw me or somebody. You can just draw like, I don't know, like a cup or something like this. And the trick is you just put this down in front of you, get a pen and a piece of paper, and then you draw the cup, but without ever looking down at the page. So, and better yet, never lift your pen off the page. So you're drawing and never looking down. No matter what, the cup is not going to look like a cup. This drawing is not going to be a good drawing, because this drawing is not about doing a good drawing or making it look right. Drawing a cup like that, and drawing in general, I would say, is really about looking and learning to look very closely at things. And so when we stop worrying about how good something looks and trying to make it right, we can start really seeing a lot more and start that slow process again. So that's another good way to settle in.
Thank you. I think I'm going to do that right after this, actually. Well, I don't see any more questions coming in. So why don't
you guys, you can ask anything. Like, I'm an open book.
Yeah.
You can ask me recipes. I can tell you my favorite kind of chocolate, whatever you want to know.
You heard it, folks. Wendy Mac's here as an open book. And we love books here at the library. So
yes, yay library. And can we also just take a pause for a second and go, yay library. Thank you, San Francisco Public Library, for all the support of the community all the time, and especially now in this unusual circumstances we find ourselves in. You guys are just incredible. Thank you.
Thanks for the shout out. Well, we love being the people's library. And if you didn't know, we have 9 of our library locations starting on Halloween actually are going to be library ballot drop-off sites. So right in your neighborhood, if you can't make it to Civic Center and drop off your ballot there, you can go ahead and drop it off at 9 locations. So in our chat, I'm sure they're going to drop in the link there. So that's just another way the library is there for you. So.
Does somebody actually want to know what my favorite chocolate is?
It sounds like it is. I think so. Someone took you up on it. What is your favorite chocolate,
wow,
Wendy?
So that's going to be tough. Let's see. I don't know if anybody's had these, and also we have kind of a vegan household. So this isn't vegan. So don't tell Caroline and Suso. But who's heard of mini eggs? Cadbury mini eggs, you know those ones?
The
little mini eggs that are like the hard candy blue shell and the chocolate inside. I think that's the best chocolate around. How about Anybody else? Anybody else in the chat? Any Cadbury egg lovers out there? Not the gooey ones, the mini eggs.
No.
Yeah.
We have a question. We have some more food questions. Favorite kind of pizza, favorite soup to make, but we also have an art question, which is how
Okay.
did you get started in art, and have you been drawing your whole life?
So let's see. I have been drawing my whole life, but like kind of most kids, I think most of us actually start drawing when we're super little and we don't really think much of it. We just start scribbling.
Mhm.
But I loved it so much. And I remember asking my mom when I was really little, I had one of these workbooks that, you could draw pictures in and answer questions and stuff like that. And I was probably like 4 years old. And there was a picture of a little kid who was drawing at a table and eating cookies and drinking milk. And I said to my mom, that's what I want to do. And you know what? 40 years later, work hard enough. So I've always loved it, but I'll say that there comes a time, a little past 4 years old, when we start to get these messages that there's a right and a wrong way to draw, or that some people are talented and other people aren't talented. And that is, excuse my language, but a bunch of hoo-ha. Drawing is just about looking and about feeling and about making marks on a page and just about getting stuff out. So everybody is an artist. Everybody in this chat, everybody on this call, we are all artists. And so just keep drawing and keep doing what you love.
Right on. You heard it. We're all artists, folks. Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we have a question from a young person, and she is curious about what books you've worked on, and also a big question, what's democracy?
Oh, wow. Well, okay. Let's start with the first question. I'm going to just say this is a book you can get at the San Francisco Public Library. This is a book I did. I illustrated this book, and my wife, Caroline Paul, wrote this book. And this is called The Gutsy Girl, Escapades for Your Life of Epic Adventure. And it's all about how getting out into the outdoors and having fun adventures can make us brave and make us, engage in the world a whole bunch more. And it's so fun and funny. So this is really fun. This is one book. Did a book called Meanwhile in San Francisco, where I walked around, looked at San Francisco and talked to all different kinds of people all over. And I took their words and my pictures and put them together to tell stories. And a book called Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, which is a cookbook. That's really fun with a great author named Samin Nosrat, great cook. And we worked on that for 5 years. So books are so fun. They take a long time, but it's certainly worth it. And you can check out those and more at your public library. And what is democracy? Whew, that is a big, big question. And a smarter person could probably answer it better than I will. But what I would say is that the most important part of a democracy is you. A democracy is made up of individuals, like we did in the class, right? Individuals within communities within our country. And every single person in this country has a voice, and that voice matters. And we work together to make decisions to benefit us all. So that's what a democracy is. Plus a bunch of other things, but like it's a good start,
Yeah. That's a fantastic start. Well, now people are just gearing up, ready to ask you all kinds of things.
Bring it on.
So someone's curious, what's one drawing or art project that you haven't done just yet that you hope to one day?
One art project. Well, I gotta tell you, can I be real with y'all? Can we just get real? Can I tell you that my favorite art project ever is Draw Together? It is the most fun thing. I love drawing with you all so much. And we have so much fun doing it. And we have a ton of ideas, a lot of stuff. I want to animate some stuff. And I'd love to actually work with you all to actually do your own animation. And we could do so many fun things together. So that's something that I would like to do more of. That's all my mind's on right now because it's just so much fun.
Love the animation.
So I hope that you would, it would be so fun. So if we do it, you got to come along, okay? Everybody's got to come along and draw together.
Right on. Do you have a favorite spot to draw at?
Oh, wow. Give me any coffee shop or a library. They're kind of similar. Here, I like drawing people. Some people draw from imagination and some people draw from looking. Some people, most people do both. I really like drawing things that I see because it's a way that I can pay close attention to things that otherwise I might not notice. And I really like drawing people because I find people really interesting. And a lot of times we're told like, oh, don't stare at people and stuff like that. But when you're drawing, you can stare all you like. So go into a coffee shop or the public library, and you can kind of hang back with your sketchbook and your pad and just kind of, and every once in a while somebody might be like, hey, are you drawing me? And you say, yes, I am. And then they're usually fine with it. If not, we should stop. But
I love that. All right. Well, I think that we've been getting some really just a lot of continued thanks. Thanks for your answers and inspiration for the question, specifically about democracy. I think that was a really excellent explanation of democracy is you. So, Wendy,
it's
I'm
VITs. Let's just say.
VITs. Can you do that for us live? That was just
Can we
so
all do
impressive.
that together?
Yes,
we can all do
that
this together. Okay, ready? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. VIT. One more time. V, voter in training. Yes.
Oh, that has got to go viral.
Boom. Good job, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Wendy, well, do you have any last words for us? Anything that you want the kiddos and the families that are watching to hear, right as we go into a very eventful week?
It is an eventful week, but I just want to commend all of the voter in trainings for your great drawing today, all of your badges, and remember that you have so much to say and to feel, and that you're thinking, and that all of that is so important, and that you can use your voice to speak out, and your art is one of the ways that you can use your voice. It's very, very powerful. So even if you can't vote, you can still use your voice and make sure that the grown-ups vote, because you're part of this world too, and their votes matter for you. So, and I can't wait to draw together with you more in the future.
Well, I think that you definitely gained a ton more fans if they didn't already know about Draw Together yet. So we can't wait till the next class. And we just want to thank all of you for joining us. Keep sending in, your questions to us, and we'll see if we can get them answered if there's anything that we didn't get answered today. But I just want to thank you, Wendy, for being here with us at the library. And we can't wait to open up the library when it's safe for all kinds of artists to come in.
Oh,
Little incognito drawing.
Can't wait. Love the library. Thank you for all you do, San Francisco Public Library. We don't know who or what we would be without you.
Thank you to all the artists, because you make the world beautiful. Thanks everyone for joining us. We're going to go ahead and sign off now, and we hope to see you again soon at a future library program. And vote. VOTE.
It's a party. Voting's a party. We're going to do a little voting dance. Voting dance. Ow! VIT. VIT. Vote. We're going to keep doing this, huh?
Oh yeah, we're going to keep going. We need that cassette that you brought out before for the.
You have that? Kidding. Oh, but wait, there's more. We play old school here. This is like.
I love it.